in the district tonight. It's so awesome being here with each and every one of you. I'm looking forward to an awesome meeting tonight. I know it's gonna be fun. I also want to put on the bunny like Marco. I don't have, I think Donald Trump was one to Playboy mention guy, and he had a lot of bunnies around him. That was Donald Trump. Yes, but we don't have such outfits here in our house with, such bunny outfits. So yeah, I looked around, but I don't have anything bunny in my house. So, but I will go for the Zoom one. But tonight we're gonna have an awesome time. We're gonna have an awesome meeting. And to our special guest here tonight, I'd like to welcome every one of you. I'd like to welcome Jolene. Welcome to Ignite Toastmasters. Also have a special guest here who doesn't want to leave me. Zahian, he wants to stay here on my lap. So welcome to each and every one of you tonight. We're gonna have an awesome time. And the theme for tonight is Let the Hunt Begin. Now, I don't know about you, hunting is not easy. I see the club president on there has the I don't know what is that thing of LSBN bunny or something, but yeah, let the hunt begin.
It's a bunny bow.
Okay. So yeah, so to officially start the club, I'd like to welcome our guest, Jolene. Welcome to Ignite Toastmasters Club. It's the best club. I'd like to announce tonight we're gonna have this meeting recorded on our Facebook page, Ignite Toastmasters Club. Please, the purpose for the recording is for members to go back and look at the recording to learn. It's also for marketing purposes, where you can go back and look at your speeches. So I'm also gonna drop the background in the chat. So we want all of you to be part of it. We want some unity, amongst us. So please use the Zoom background so we can have some uniformity there. Josette Busak, please, if you can put my bunny, if you can please also put in the background there. Please tonight, yes, put on the Zoom background there, my bunny. And also our guests, please, if you can use the Zoom background. Also, they will also post in the tennis register in the group. Please make use of the tennis register. All our guests will also post it throughout the meeting to make sure that we have your contact details. So before we hunt this evening, before we go into tonight to hunt for the best speeches, the best people speak, the most eloquent people, the word of the day, before we go into that hunt tonight, please, the meeting also has some specific rules, and I will share the rules of this meeting tonight, because in every place there's always rules. I'm going to share the meeting etiquette with each and every one of you tonight, so we can know what the rules of engagement is here. Please mute yourself when you are not speaking. Please ensure that your camera is on when you are speaking, and also refrain from using the chat whilst prepared speeches are on. Also, rename yourself if you are a role player tonight. Example, Gershon, I put it by me, SAA Gershon Busak. And also, please follow the program and get yourself ready with your camera on. We're asking, please, for all our guests, all our speakers to always have your camera on throughout this program. And so as we're getting into our program, I would like now to officially start our meeting. I would like each and every one of you to please put our hands together to welcome our club president, Cindy Jacobs, to the platform.
Wow. You all look amazing. I see that the hunt is happening. The hunt already started. Yes, Zion, your father's hunt has started. I can hear that. The hunt is busy. Gershon's hunt has started already because he started hunting his wife. And I think that is fabulous. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ignite Toastmasters. I'm just wondering where Beulah's at, because that looks like a very fun party. I'm hoping that she can join us at the hunt this evening. But to each and every one of you who came this evening, welcome to Ignite Toastmasters. I see that Yolene is here. Yolene, I hope that you have a fantastic experience with us this evening. If it is possible, if not, we do understand. We are a club that prides ourselves on showing our faces, making it fun. So if you can, but if you can't, we do understand that if you can't do it, then we do understand, but it would be also very nice for us to see your face. To each and every person that is here, to our Ignite team members, please can we see your face? Please can we unmute, and please can we make some sounds, Ignite team members? Can we make a sound? Can we make a happy sound? Can we make some noise, Ignite team members? Oh, you look so awesome! Awesome. Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome.
Awesome.
I'm just going to switch off my mic and my camera, okay?
No problem. We understand. Thank you so much for showing your face. Now we know what you look like. If we see you in the malls, then we can at least run to you and greet you. But to each and every person that is here, this evening is going to be a fun time. We are in a time of Easter. People are getting ready to do Easter hunts. There's a lot of things happening. And at Ignite Toastmasters, we are always hunting for development and for progress and for all those kind of things that is important to develop ourselves in terms of leadership. But for now, I'm going to ask Rebone, if you don't mind, if you can please do our Toastmasters, our club. Gershon, are you ready? If you can please do our club mission, if you can read that for us, and then I will come back after you. Over to you, Rebone.
Thank you, Madam President. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Rebone. Please, everybody, excuse me, especially Madam VPE. I just changed the program a bit. I think that my bow is making me think a little bit differently this evening. But over to you, Madam VPE. Please, will you take us through the program confirmation? And then I'll come back after you. Over to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Ignite Toastmasters. Are we ready for the hunt this evening? So I'm going to be hunting right now for a couple of people. I see that our Toastmaster of the day, Josette Busak, is here with us. Our timekeeper, Beulah Peterson, is here. Today we have the Armenian counter, which is Joanne Peterson, table topics, Maureen Moodley, general evaluator, Luyanda Teller. Thank you so much. We do have all three speakers here, Rebone, and Rebone's evaluator is Marco Jacobs. We do have Glissandra Neitzel, myself, and I'm excited that my evaluator is here. I have been hunting around for you, Maureen Gordon. Thank you so much for being here. And Gershon, who will be our third speaker, and Gershon's evaluator is Cindy Jacobs. We would also have our member moment at the end, and I see that Lucinda is also here. Thank you so much, and back to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Sandy, for the program confirmation. I want to do something before we go over to our Toastmaster. Can you do this? Can you keep it like that? Can you smile? I see too many serious people in this place. Can I have people smiling? I see that Joanne started smiling. I know she's the Marian and she's going to be very strict with us. Last week, she took us to school. This week, she's going to hunt us. I know that it's going to be a fantastic hunt and a journey. But I want to say this to each and every one of you. In the Toastmasters journey, in the years that I've been with Toastmasters, I've realized this about Toastmasters, that if you don't go hunting for it, you won't have it. If you don't go seeking for it, you won't become it. Because Toastmasters is a place of transformation. Toastmasters is a place that changes us. It changes us and it transforms us to a place where we become better. And I want to encourage you this evening. If you are new, I know that there are visitors here this evening. If you haven't done something that if you haven't put yourself out there before and you haven't done something new, try something new, because that is so beautiful about Toastmasters. And it really takes us on a beautiful journey of becoming who we are meant to be. And having said that, I would now like to welcome our Toastmaster for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Josette Busak? Can we give her a welcome, Josette? Over
Thank
to
you so much, Madam President, and welcome to all our beautiful, fabulous, colorful Toastmasters this evening. I am looking forward to this evening because we are getting ready to hunt. Hunting for what? You know, Aristotle had a quote which said, if some animals are good at hunting and others are suitable for hunting, then the gods must clearly smile on hunting. And really what this quote says to me is that if you are not approaching life with an attitude of hunting, then it means that you are probably the one being hunted. So tonight I am hoping to ignite an attitude of hunting, going out there and getting what is yours, because really having an attitude of hunting is really about your heart. What kind of attitude are you approaching life with? Are you approaching life with an aggressive attitude to get what is yours and take it by force? Or are you approaching life with this passive attitude that says, let the wind take me wherever I go, you know, and so be it. You know, this time of the year in Easter, we see our children getting really hyped up and even aggressive sometimes, you know, when it comes to their sweets and their chocolates and the things that they are hunting for in this season, because they know what it is they want and they are not going to let anyone stand in their way in order to get it. And this is what I believe Toastmasters is here for. Toastmasters is here to instill in us an attitude of going out there and getting what we want and not allowing anything or anyone to stand in the way of us getting it. So this evening, I want you to put on your hunting caps, get your bow and arrow and quiver ready, because we are about to embark on a hunt. Now let the hunt begin. Before we get into our awesome meeting, I would like to just introduce a bit of, or a few of my hunting pack members that are going to be assisting me throughout this journey of hunting that we are about to embark on this evening. And first of all, I would like to invite, or I would like to introduce you to our timekeeper, Beulah, and she's just going to explain to us what her role for this evening will be. Over to you, Beulah.
Good evening, fellow toasties. Long time no see. I like all the colors. It's looking so beautiful. Right, my role for this evening is the timekeeper. So I'll be timekeeping the prepared speeches, unprepared speeches, and the evaluations. Well, unprepared is the table topics. Okay, and prepared speeches. Prepared speeches, just give me 1 second. Now, I'm just getting my background. Prepared speeches will be 5 to 7 minutes. Where's my background? Oh, yes, it 5 to 7 minutes. You'll see I'll display the green, which is the green behind me. So the green will be for 5 minutes. The yellow will be for 6 minutes, and the red will be for 7 minutes. So that will be all the prepared speeches, which will be 5 to 7 minutes. Evaluations will be 2 to 3 minutes. So green will be 2 minutes. Yellow will be 2.5 minutes, and the red will be 3 minutes. And then table topics, which is our unprepared speeches, will be 1 to 2 minutes. So 1 minute will be green, 1.5 minutes will be yellow, and 2 minutes will be red. So don't forget to, you know, the saying that says, Pin the Donkey. Well, tonight it will be Pin the Timekeeper. So make sure that you pin me so that you can be on point, so that you don't have to go around in the crowd and hunt for me. Thank you, Madam Timekeeper. Madam Toastmaster, that concludes my assignment for now.
Thank you so much, Madam Timekeeper. Isn't she just brilliant with her analogies, even sticking to the festive theme about pin the donkey? So please pin the timekeeper and don't find yourself hunting all over the screen to see how far you are with your time. Thank you so much. I would like to introduce you to our next role player, and she calls herself an Umerian. The Umerian is Joanne Peterson. I would like to hand over to her to just explain to us what is an Umerian and what is she going to be doing this evening.
Well, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And I am back like I never left. Yes, tonight I will be taking up 2 roles, and I promise to be a bit lenient, seeing as we are in the festive vibe. So today I will be your grammarian and your and counter. And I must say, I have already been counting. But I promise to be a bit more lenient in the rest of the evening. I am also in charge of giving you the word for today. And the word for today is quest. The word for today is quest. Seeing as we're on the hunt for something this evening, I believe that the word for today is quite fitting. So make sure to factor it into your speech and anytime that you speak today, because I will be jotting it down. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Umerian. And yes, we are definitely on a quest this evening to discovering our marvelous talents. And in so doing, we also have another role player this evening who is looking for the talent of speaking even under, conditions where you are not prepared. And that is called our Madam Table Topics Master. Maureen Moodley, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My role for this evening as Table Topics Mistress helps members practice the art of improvisation and also helps us think on our feet. The topics that I've prepared for you, hopefully all of us will become and to partake in it this evening. I'm also looking for some volunteers, and I'm hoping the guest will participate as well. So back to you, Madam Headhunter. Sorry, I meant Madam Toastkeeper.
Thank you so much, Madam Table Topics Mistress. And now, last but not least, we need to have someone who's going to tell us all the things we did right at the end of our meeting. And I'm handing over to Leanda Teller, who's going to be our general evaluator for this evening.
Good evening. Good evening, fellow hunters at Ignite Toastmasters. My role today as the general evaluator is to evaluate the full session from when we started, how it is that we ventured on our quest, and whether we got to the treasure at the end. I will then give feedback towards the end of this meeting. Back to you, Madam Headhunter.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. And there's also a surprise, a little Easter egg, a little treasure, as Madam Taylor has just said, that I have in store for everyone this evening. It's going to come around the table topics segment of this evening, but I'm not going to give anything away. We are now embarking on our quest, and it is my privilege as the Toastmaster of this evening to say to you all, let the hunt begin. So now we are going to get into our prepared speeches segment, and we've actually had a last minute speech title change by our very own Rebone, who will be doing our first speech for today. But before we get into her speech, her evaluator for this evening will be Marco Jacobs. And we're just going to hear from him as to what he'll be expecting as the evaluator of Rebone's speech this evening. Over to you, Marco.
Thank you, Madam Egg Hunter. Rebone is on her level 1. As we know, there are 5 levels that you need to complete. And Rebone is starting off with level 1. She's done her first speech, which is the icebreaker. The next speech is called the L1 2.1. And this is where she is going to be doing a speech on any topic of her choice. After the speech, you will receive feedback. And when she comes back for her next speech, she will come back with that speech having applied everything that she's been given as feedback in this particular speech. The purpose of this speech is for Rebone to present a speech and receive feedback from her evaluator. I will be her evaluator this evening, and Rebone has 5 to 7 minutes for her speech. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Marco, for that. Now, help me welcome the lady with her speech entitled, "The Future, Our Legacy." The Future, Our Legacy, Rebone Malachi.
By raise of hands, how many of you have had things not going according to your plan? Yeah, I've had a couple of those. Hello, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests. In 2007, I joined a new company and my career was just taking off. I had plans in place on how I was going to do to climb the career ladder. What I wanted to achieve and at what point I wanted to achieve what I was going to do and to get to that career ladder. At that point, I thought, wow, things are good. I had gotten a salary increase. I bought a brand new car, a Mercedes-Benz. Whether I could afford it was a different story. The bank said I qualify for a credit, so, you know, I went for it. Now, I felt like now I'm fitting in with the who's who and, you know, keeping up with the other CAs. One day while at work, I felt really ill and I was rushed to the hospital. The doctor ran a couple of tests and discovered that I was pregnant. That was not part of the plan, not at that point. It was the children were going to come in at a much later stage when I'd already established myself at work and maybe gotten a promotion or two. And to couple that, I was then told that I don't even qualify for maternity benefits because I've been with the company for less than a year. Now, think about it. I've got this new car, which I actually cannot afford. I've got a child who's now on the way, who's got the needs, the nappies, and a whole lot of other things. I'm going to be a couple of months without any salary. Now, the right thing to do at that point would be to downgrade, right? Not me. I didn't do that. So I thought to myself, I can still do this. I can still manage. I can still keep up with the other CAs. Everything would work out. Now, what I had to do was to quickly try and see what I can do to adjust, but it wasn't easy. I was now living from hand to mouth, literally hand to mouth every single month. When the salary comes in, it will pay off the debt and the cycle would start all over again. The cycle would start again. Now, despite all of the adjustments, the ups and downs, with the joy of it, just having my daughter changed everything, because now I was really, really happy to just welcome this beautiful girl and just look after this beautiful girl. A couple of years later, I then had the twins. I was very happy with the twins, but now it was the shock of moving from one child to 3. That also wasn't part of the plan. You're just going to have the 2, things would go along and everything would be okay. Now, despite all of these adjustments, I then thought, okay, I need to grab hold of my situation. I managed to turn around my financial situation, and I took it a bit step further. Each time when my daughters would come and ask for something which had to do with money, some of it was relevant and the other things were not really relevant. It was just because the kid next door has it, I need to keep up with the kid next door. So I thought I need to nip this in the bud. So I got them to start a vegetable garden where they would plant the vegetables, like this is one of those vegetables. So they would sell the vegetables to me. I said to them, I'm even willing to pay an extra for it, to pay a premium like your Woolies prices, because you work hard for this. I then explained to them the concept of asset, how the asset works, that it will generate the income for you. All you have to do is just to make sure that you look after it, you set it right, and then generate income for you. My first daughter then took this lesson to heart. What she then did was to make sure that she gets her little sisters to water her spinach for her, and then she pays them the commission for it. Now she's got the spinach that she sells, it keeps on growing each time that it's watered, and she then pays the sisters for that. And then she then started a second business where she now focuses on baking cakes, because she loves to cook and she loves to bake. So now she's starting off this new business on the side. Then I said to them, now that you've got the money, what do you do with the money? It's not just about spending it, because the whole idea was you want to spend for certain things. You need to also think about tomorrow. So we opened the Easy Equities account so that they can then buy more shares and then invest some of it, and some of it then they can use to spend on whatever that they want to do. Now, this is the legacy that I want to leave them, the quest for financial freedom, and that things don't always go according to the plan, that they need to be agile and adapt quickly. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Wasn't that a beautiful speech? Let us show our reactions, hand clap reactions, heart reactions for that brilliant speech delivered by Rebone Malachi. Thank you so much for that. We are now going into our next speech, which will be delivered to us by Glissandra Neitzel. But before we get to hear about her speech, we first want to hear from her evaluator, Moveen Gordon, as to what she will be evaluating Glissandra Neitzel's speech on this evening. Over to you, Moveen.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster, and good evening to you, Sandy. The purpose of this speech of Sandy is for Sandy to practice developing a plan and bringing the plan into fruition. She also needs to share some aspects of the planning and the implementation of the small-scale project. And her time for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Moveen Gordon. Now this evening, Sandy will be delivering a level 3 project 2 speech. And for her speech, which is titled COL, help me welcome Glissandra Neitzel.
COL. Yes, you heard right. COL. Circle of Love, a G12 group I had to plan and implement with approval from my pastors. Allow me to talk a bit on planning and implementing a project plan. or project implementation plan. Now, these are key strategy documents that keep teams on track throughout a project, indicating how a project is expected to run along, with who's responsible for what. It's an extremely valuable planning tool, one that can be the difference between a project success and a project failure. It's also a fair, comprehensive document. And if you've never built one before, the concept can be feeling a little bit too overwhelming. But with a good strategy plan, you can do it. For me, to birth G12 Circle of Love, I was on a quest and first had to conceive it within me, which means I had to have a vision. Jonathan Swift, in his quote, said, "Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others." Yes, I did a quest. I had a vision, but only I could see it. Not my pastors, not the women in my family and friends circle. Circle of Love was invisible. It was up to me to birth the vision and unfold the invisible to visible before their eyes. You may be wondering, what is G12? Well, allow me to explain in short. G12 is the module we use to ensure the discipleship of God's people and to equip all to be part of bringing people into the kingdom of God. Now, bringing the invisible into visible had to start on planning and finding ways to implement and bring Circle of Love into existence. My vision was big. It was not a national group, but an international group. So I had to do a lot of work and seek guidance from my mentors and how to bring Circle of Love to life. I started on seeking the right scripture that will bring out the true meaning of Circle of Love. Then I had to get a logo, a flyer. I had to draw up a G12 vision statement, get it approved, prepare for the launch with an agenda in place. Most of all, put my team together and keep them together. But how did I get it done? I got it done because I had a vision and I had a purpose. I had a team. It seemed so easy, but it required a lot of hard work because it was me who needed to encourage the other women and make them realize that life is easy and one day they could be leaders themselves. Now, the day came, Circle of Love was launched on 13th February 2020, which means the first step of planning was done. It was in place. Now came the weekly implementation of the vision. It had to unfold week after week, and it took a lot of work. I put a team together and I started, but slowly giving them things to do. I started delegating tasks to each one. I was nervous to put my newborn into the hands of others, but I had to do it if I wanted the women to come out with their best. Slowly but surely, things came into place. We met every Thursday for an hour. We encouraged each other with prayer, with an icebreaker, with a word. We also had a WhatsApp group, and we interacted daily with each other, and shared encouragements. I did my one-on-one regularly with each lady because with planning and implementation also comes accountability to my leaders and my ladies. I had to make sure my ladies were fine and my leaders were informed. Do you have a dream and a vision in your head? I say to you, it's time to plan and implement. Give birth to your vision. Many lives depend on you pushing and birthing. Without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. Gloria Steinem. Sometimes we forget that a plan is a document that puts structure around an idea. But without vision to set the plan in motion, there's really no point in following through. Feminist icon Gloria Steinem understood that before there is a plan, there is a dream. That's always the first step in your planning and implementing. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that informative speech. Let us all give Sandy reactions, hearts, hand claps, and make sure that she knows that she delivered a brilliant speech this evening. Now, our next prepared speech will be delivered by Gershon Busak, who will be doing his Level 4 Project 1 speech, but his evaluator will be Cindy Jacobs. So before we get into his speech, we are going to ask his evaluator to please give us what she will be looking out for in his speech delivery this evening.
Everyone, sorry. I think I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. Now I look like a bunny. We just go into the evaluation quickly. I will be evaluating Gershon Busak's speech. His speech title is called Habits, and he has 2 to 3 minutes. I just want our timekeeper to note the following before I read the purpose of the speech. He's got 2 to 3 minutes. 1 minute, 30 seconds will be on green, 2 minutes will be on amber, and then 3 minutes will be on red, just for our timekeeper to note that. The purpose of Gershon's speech, or the purpose of this project, is for the member to introduce the skills needed to organize and present a podcast. The purpose of the speech is for the member to introduce his podcast and to present a segment of the podcast. Again, Gershon, you have 2 to 3 minutes. Over to you, Madam Egg Hunter.
Thank you so much. Now with his speech titled Habits, Gershon Busak.
Good evening, and welcome to the podcast with Mr. G. On today's episode 36, I will share 10 lessons from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I can confidently say, which is by far one of the best self-improvement books I have ever read. This book, I finished it within 5 days. And I want to share with you some of the lessons which I've learned from this book. But I want to start by one of the quotes by Jim Rohn, and this is what he has to say about habits. Motivation is what gets you started, but habits is what keeps you going. And I want to share with one of the habits that I've got out from this book by James Clear. And I want to start off by saying, what is an habit? A habit is a routine that is performed on a regular basis. Generally unconsciously, changes that appear minor or insignificant at first might accumulate over time and make a substantial difference. That is a habit. Now, I want to say about how to create a good habit. When the habit levers are in the right place, creating healthy habits become effortless. I'm going to repeat that again. When the habit gears are in the right place, creating habits becomes effortless. And I want to share with you one of those levers. Firstly, make it obvious. Make it obvious. And then secondly, make your habit attractive. And then thirdly, make it easy. And fourthly, make your habit rewarding. And I want to say one of the things that we make a mistake in when it comes to habits is we don't focus on the results. Always want to focus on the results. When you put a habit in place, for example, I put a habit in place, I want to finish this book within like 30 days. And I want to focus like within 30 days, I want to finish this book. I want to finish this book. And sometimes we get discouraged because when we focus too much on the result. But I want to say to you today, focus on the trajectory over the results. You get what you repeat. You know, your life is an accumulation of your lagging habits. True behavior changes requires of a change in identity. And many times, you know, like this book, it speaks about habits. It's about tiny changes makes remarkable results. You don't have to start big. You don't have to start with making big things. You don't have to say, I'm going to finish that within 10 days. But tiny changes makes a remarkable result. And that's why this book, the title of the book comes with Atomic Habits, meaning small things, just those small things can make a big results. And I want to say to you today, I want to go on to sticking to new habits. When starting a new habit, saying what you're going to do and when you're going to do it increases the likelihood that you will eventually do it. Start with a goal, what you want to achieve. And another effective technique is habit stacking by using existing habits to cue the formation of new habits. So maybe if you have a bad habit, for example, you like watching TV. You can use that very bad habit. I don't know if watching TV is a bad habit for some people, but for me it is. Maybe use that habit where you can sit in front of it in TV and maybe put on something on the TV that will help you improve your life in some or small way. And then the lastly thing that I want to speak about, the importance of starting. If you want to master something, simply you just have to start. Repetition is better than a perfect plan. I'm saying again, repetition is better than a perfect plan. Quantity leads to quality. Quantity leads to quality. The right decision is not how long it will take to form a new habit, but it will start with how many it will take to form a new habit. How many it will take to form a new habit. And one of the things that we always battle with when it comes to habits is accountability. And I would like to encourage each and every one of you that's watching this podcast, as I'm including, firstly, I want you to like, share this page, and also please subscribe. On my last deal that I want to share with you on accountability, habit tracking, habit contracts, and accountability partners are wonderful ways to start positive habits or unstop healthy habits. We all need someone that needs to keep us accountable. There's a lot of apps that can help you with that as well. But ideally, you need to write a journal using a pen and paper in order for you to really get going. Also, I want you to please remind you, please like, subscribe, and share my page with your followers. Thank you so much for watching episode 36 with Gershon Busak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gershon Busak. I know I definitely want to watch that episode, that program every day just to see that handsome bunny. But anyway, let us show some reactions. Let us show some hearts. Let us show some hand claps. Yes. Now, I would like to call upon our Madam Timekeeper, who's just going to give us her Timekeeper's report for all the prepared speeches. Over to you, Beulah.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I have been summoned on a quest to give you guys, or you fellow toasties, the time for the prepared speeches. So speaker one, Rabona, was 6 minutes, 25 seconds. Lysandra was 6 minutes, 54 seconds. And last but not least, Josette's handsome bunny. His speech was 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Timekeeper. So now I'm sure you've all been waiting for, let me just quickly see, I see a message here. Okay, Glissandra. Okay, so I'm gonna explain to you guys, as I had said, that I had a gift prepared, or an Easter egg hidden in tonight's meeting. And now I'm going to reveal that egg to all of you. The surprise, the treasure. And what that actually is that during our table topic segment, we are actually going to choose a winner. So tonight, I know that it's a first for Ignite Zoom online Toastmasters. I know that it hasn't been done on the online before, but tonight we are actually going to choose a winner for our table topic segment. And basically, they're just going to be judged on their basic delivery of a public speech. So for all of you who will be volunteering, and I think that now everyone is excited to volunteer because we are all hunters by nature, and we would all love to embark on this quest. I am going to hand over to Maureen, who's going to take us into our table topic segment for this evening.
Thank you, Madam Egg Hunter, if I say so. So this evening, I'm going to ask for some volunteers. If there is any, please. Okay. Did I see Gershon? Did I see your hand up?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no other hand, so I'll put my hand up.
Okay. Pick a number from 1 to 7.
I will choose number 7.
Number 7. Okay. What would be the most amazing thing to find in an Easter egg? The quest is on.
Oh, I think the most interesting to find in an Easter egg would be, one of my favorite things would be jelly, because all the things, that I find in Easter eggs is like things that I don't really like. And like, I would always jelly is one of my favorites. Desserts, I will always ask for jelly, or for the, like, I'll always have jelly with my ice cream. So one of the things I would ask for people to put inside the Easter egg would be jelly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gershon. I must say that is very unusual. Okay. Can we have another volunteer, please? Zzz. We're scanning. The quest is on. Thank you, Lucinda. Okay. Can you please pick a number 1 to 7? Okay, from 1 to 6 now. Number 2. Okay. What is one unusual tradition or ritual you'd like to make part of your Easter celebration?
What is one unusual tradition that I would like to impart? Oh, I wouldn't say that it's an unusual tradition. I think as colored people, we only have one tradition, and that is obviously making pickle fish every Easter and having it with hot cross buns. So I think that is really one thing that I would love to impart into my children. And I think the reason for that is because when we think about food, we always think about it bringing people together. So it's a nice way of bringing family together, and to also introduce culture, the colored culture. It comes from the Cape Malay, even though we're all not Cape Malay, but it's also a way of introducing some culture to our children. So that is really one thing that I would like to impart, to teach my daughter how to make some proper pickle fish, and maybe different types of pickle fish, because we find that different colored people from different regions make different types. Some like it curry, some like it maybe a little bit more sour, a little bit more vinegar. Some eat it with their snook or their crepe curry. Some just prefer normal pickle fish with some hake on the side. So I would like to actually go out and then explore other cultures or other ways of making it and introduce that to my daughter as part of our culture as the colored people. Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you, Lucinda. That's very unusual. Well done. Okay, another volunteer. The quest is on. How about Quinn?
Hello, Maureen.
Hello, Quinn. I'm just going to ask you, thank you for, I'm just saying, Quinn, thank you for answering. I'm going to say in advance, thank you for answering. So I'm going to ask you to pick a number from, well, number 2 and number 7 is gone. So 1, 3, 4, 5. What number?
I'll take number 3.
Okay. If you had to tell the Easter story in just 10 seconds, how would you tell it?
The Easter story in just 10 seconds. Easter is fun, exciting, and too short.
Okay. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you very much. It is. Okay. Another volunteer. Okay, I'm going to pick somebody. What about our Amarian?
Okay, I'll give it a chance.
Thank you, madam. Okay, what can you pick? Okay, we had number 3 gone. So it's just 4, 5, and 6.
Give me number 6.
Number 6. If you could take an Easter basket to your neighbors, what would you include in it and why?
Well, everyone who knows me knows that I'm slowly becoming famous for my crab curry that I make every festive season, whether it be Christmas or Easter. So it will be very unfair to my neighbors for me to rock up with the Easter with a basket full of Easter eggs and stuff without any crab curry inside. So if I have to give over a basket to my neighbor, I would definitely make sure that there's a little bowl with some crab curry in there, partnered with a hot cross bun, because nothing goes better with crab curry than a hot cross bun. Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you, Madam Amarian. Wow, I wish I was your neighbor because crab curry is also my favorite. Madam Toastkeeper, do we have time for another table topics? Okay, let's do one more. Another volunteer, please. I haven't heard your voice in a long time, Yolanda. How about you?
Sure, madam.
Okay, so I've only got 2. Where would be the most awesome place to have an Easter egg hunt?
Happy Island.
Happy Island?
Yes, so I recently went to Happy Island. I know they've changed their name to Mzansi, whatever, but Happy Island sticks well with me because it is happy. It is a place which is very similar to Sun City. It has water slides and water everything. And I think a lot could get lost there, and people could spend a lot of time trying to find Easter eggs and trying to find themselves, really. So I think that would be a really great place. It will be fun for everybody that's involved. If you get bored of trying to find Easter eggs and all of that, just swim. Awesome. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Okay, thank you, Landa. I'd like to visit Happy Island soon. And that's all for this evening. And back to you, Madam Egg Hunter.
Thank you so much for that awesome table topic session. I certainly heard quite some interesting things. And I must also say that I'm also very hungry after hearing about pickled fish and crab curry and hot cross buns. You know, I'm now hungry. I can't wait for Good Friday this week. But anyway, I'm going to hand over to Beulah, our timekeeper, to just give us a timekeeper's report for all the table topics.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I feel like I need to be on that quest to go to Happy Island to find some bunnies there. You know, you get all different kinds of bunnies. Our table topics, Gershwin came out to 26 seconds. Lucinda, 1 minute, 39 seconds. Quincy, 19 seconds. Jojo, 39 seconds. And Luyanda, 46 seconds. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Timekeeper. I almost said Madam Table Timekeeper. Okay, anyway, now we are going to get into our evaluations. And this is really just a great portion of the evening, because whatever evaluations is given to our prepared speeches, it doesn't mean that you don't have to take that advice and those evaluations for yourself as well, because they say that feedback is the breakfast of champions. Now we're talking about breakfast, we're talking about Easter eggs, hot cross buns, pickled fish. Anyway, but we are going to go into our first evaluation, which will be delivered by Marco Jacobs. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Egg Hunter. All right, Reboni, let's go through your speech quickly. I think your speech was brilliant, was a good build-up from your icebreaker, which you did a week ago. We know a little more about you. You bought a Merc that you couldn't afford. You got a new job, which you suddenly ran into all sorts of issues with. We now know for sure that you were a chartered accountant. We know that you have 3 kids and 2 of them are twins. Your story tonight started off quite bleak. I was worried about, oh my word, is she okay? Because you had all these things happening to you, and I was wondering, how would you bounce back? But your story shifted so nicely, because you then told us that you were determined not to downgrade. And that's when it became very, very inspirational for me. What I liked about your speech was when you started, you asked us the question by show of hands. And that is a very good technique that you can use to get people's attention, because sometimes when you start your speech, their minds are everywhere and they're perhaps not listening. And when you ask me to, by show of hands, automatically I tune in because I want to know what am I putting my hand up for. And then also, when you asked the question, you also said, some of those, you know, where there were unplanned things that happened in your life, and you created that relatability. So first you got my attention, and then you created that relatability. I think your opening was, you know, the skill level for your opening was not someone who's on a level 1. I think that you probably caught some stuff out of previous evaluations, or you had these techniques before. I think areas of improvement. something we tend to do when we do our speeches is we do things like we touch our face and our nose. Your nose is beautiful. You don't have to touch it while you are speaking. Nothing wrong with your nose. It's a very nice nose. You don't have to play with it or touch it, okay? And then I think there was a point there, just after you touched your nose, you had this long pause and you spoke about the cycle would start again and then you pause. And I think maybe there, I think you were trying to find your place in your notes or wherever. I think that is easily remedied with just studying your notes a bit more. I think that is something you will master very easily, because I think that I suspect that you lost your place there somehow and in some way. And then also, you know, when it comes to online, one of the things we've got to work on is our connectivity strength. And I noticed that your connectivity was battling a little bit. And I know sometimes that's due to load shedding in the area, etc., etc. But it's just a comment that you can consider because you know the context of how your connection was working today. Now, what I like the most about your speech, you know what it was? It's your ending was very clever, because I was wondering, what is the future, our legacy got to do with anything that you have said? But you tied that up very nicely, and it's very nice when you open up and you create curiosity, because I wanted to understand your speech title, but at the end, you explained it to us because you said your kids and their quest for financial freedom, and you need to tell them that things don't always go to plan. When you said the future, my legacy, or the future, our legacy, you were telling us about your kids, that it is your legacy and it's their future. And when those two come together, you have imparted something to a next generation so that they will not make the same kind, well, not necessarily mistakes, but that they can learn from your learnings. So I felt that your call to action was for us to leave a strong legacy and to also help the next generation plan for the future. So I thought that was very, very clever and very well done on your speech this evening. Thank you, Rebone, and back to you, Madam Egg Chaser.
Thank you so much, Marco, for that awesome evaluation. We are now going to go into our next evaluation, which will be delivered by Maureen Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Egg Chaser, and good evening to you, Glissandra Neitzel. You know, in Toastmasters, if you don't get a name, then you've not been in Ignite, eh? It's an Ignite thing. Well done, Glissandra Neitzel, on such a well-structured speech. Thank you, and well done for on the quest of planning and bringing into fruition your project. Now, you started off your speech very well. COL. And obviously, for someone who doesn't really know, you will think, what does that really mean? But then you just highlighted that with your prop that you showed on the screen. So whoever was in doubt, it was right up in their faces, and we could all see what COL meant, and it was Circle of Love. And now we could put a picture to the acronym or to the name Circle of Love. Well done on that. I must say that that picture will always stay in my mind. So it really made an impact on me. So Circle of Love, I love how you just really started, how you've taken us through your journey. You took us through the start of how you started the project. You spoke about how you needed to get the scripture, the logo, the flyer, how you needed to prepare for the launch, and also how you needed to gather a team. And more importantly, to keep your team together by keeping them motivated. I really loved how you took us through that process of how you dealt with your project. I also love that you gave us a bit more detail around that. I was cut off a bit due to disconnection, but I caught the latter part of it, where you spoke about you met on a Thursday and what you guys did. I also love the fact that you explained in detail what Circle of Love was. You said that it was a G12 group, and this was the purpose of the group. I really loved how you brought the clarity through on that one. Now, I also really feel that the reason why your speech was so great is because your passion just came through. From the minute you started speaking, I could feel the warmth, I could feel the passion, I could feel how you really went all out for this project for it to be a success. And that really came through in your speech. So very well done on that, Glissandra. Just areas that I think you can consider. With every project, there's always highlights and lowlights. There's always lessons learned. And what I really wanted, you know, because there might be people on this specific meeting that will probably be starting a G12 soon. So I would have loved for you to just speak about the highlights, the lowlights, and what are those lessons that you learned when you started the project, what you would have done better in some instances, and what was really those things that just came through effortlessly that you didn't really have to put a lot of effort in. So just those three keys I would have loved to see come through, just also to help anybody else that will be going through a project similar to what you've gone through. But overall, in conclusion, Sandy, very, very well done on your speech. You were in time, great eye contact. The clarity of your speech was phenomenal, and also the detail on how you started and how it ended was phenomenal. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to hear more of you, Sandy. Glissandra, sorry.
Thank you so much, Melvin Gordon, for that awesome evaluation. We are now going into our very last evaluation for this evening, and I'm going to hand over to Cindy Jacobs, who's going to give us the evaluation for Gershon Busak's speech.
Gershon Busak, you came and you told us about habits. You took us on a quest to understand habits firstly, which I feel was something that we needed to understand and something that took us on the journey along with you. Thank you for that, because it was relevant and it was relatable. You also gave us the name of the book that you were reading, and the name of the book that you gave us was Atomic Habits. Thank you for doing that as well, because whenever we are doing speeches like this, it is important that we have credibility with our speeches, and that brought such a great credibility to what you were saying this evening. I absolutely loved what you did there. You had a good tone and you had a good pace when you spoke. It came through, and let me just share this or add this when it comes to pace and tone. When you have a good pace and when you have a good tone, it actually helps the listener to listen better. It also helps the listener to understand what you were saying. And I think that you handled that perfectly. So well done on that we could understand and we could listen to what you were saying. The speech was extremely inspirational, which I think is a super plus. You brought across excitement, and the excitement came through with your energy. One thing that we must understand about inspirational speeches is that when the person speaking is not inspired, they cannot inspire the audience. And I feel that came through so strong. You came through, you were excited, you inspired us, and automatically the audience is then also inspired. So thank you for your energy. Thank you for bringing through the pace, and thank you for adding the authenticity of the speech. My areas of suggestions or points to consider, I would want to say to you, I know that we have the theme of Easter, but I would recommend that maybe just taking off the bunny effect, because I think that maybe it dilutes the inspiration and the effect and the seriousness of the speech. I think that if you take that away just for the time when you are speaking, it would then add to the speaking. The next point that I would like you to consider as well is when you are talking about something like a podcast, consider doing something that you have done in your life, something that is real to you. The animation that came through with the podcast was fantastic, but I do feel that the impartation of real life experiences would be a stronger impartation to the audience. So if you could have come and you could have brought a real life experience about a podcast that you have done, I feel that the people would have even navigated, or even, the people would have come and they would have understood what you were saying, even to a stronger measure. All in all, Gershon, thank you so much. You were relatable. You brought through credibility. You had a good pace. You were inspirational. Remember the points of improvement. I look forward to your next speech. Over to you. Thank you, Madam Egg Hunter.
Thank you so much to our evaluators. Can I call them egg evaluators? Because I see the egg hunting is just sticking this evening. But anyway, we are now going to go into our very last timekeepers report delivered to us by the beautiful Beulah.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The time for the evaluations, Marco was 4 minutes, 35 seconds. That sounds so weird when I say Marco. Cindy was 3 minutes and 44 seconds, and Moveen was 4 minutes. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and back to you. That concludes my assignment, my request. Flight, my story is out. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Timekeeper. And yes, I can see that my name has been changed to Chief Egg Hunter. But no worries, no worries. We are getting into our evaluations. And our next evaluator is going to be, I hope she's going to be very tough on some of the people who have named me and given me names for this evening. So I'm going to hand over to the wonderful Umarian Joanne Peterson.
Thank you so much, Madam Egg Hunter. This evening has just been wonderful, and thank you so much for using the word of the day. I'm so excited. So many of you have used it so many times, and coming to Toastmasters Ignite really just sets us on an amazing quest for excellence. And I think that this club is really striving for excellence. So thank you so much. But I'm here to give you my report on Dromerian and with the and counter. So I'm going to start off with our Toastmaster for this evening. Josette, you used the word of today 3 times. You used the word 4 times. And you have developed a crutch word, which is anyways. So please do look out for that. Do not overuse it. I know it becomes a crutch over time, but just take note of that. Gershon, well done on your speech. You used the phrase, tiny changes make remarkable results. And I really loved that phrase. However, you also created a crutch phrase for yourself. So be careful about that. Your crutch phrase is, you know, like, or you know. And I know that you love to use those phrases. So just watch out for those crutch phrases and crutch words as well. Lysandra Knight, so you used the word of today once. You also refer to your project as a newborn, which I really loved. And you said, and I quote, I had to put my newborn in the hands of others. I really like the analogy that you used there with your project being a newborn baby as well. So that was pretty good. Rebone, well done on your speech. You used the word of today once. You said you used the word 3 times. Beulah, you used the word of today twice. Thank you. You used the word 16 times and the word twice. But I think to soften that up, you use the phrase pin the timekeeper, and we usually say pin the tail on the donkey. So I really loved how you played around with that phrase as well. Maybe that will make up for all of those ums. Maureen, you used the word of today twice. You used the word once, and you have a crutch word, which is okay. You tend to use that a lot. So please do make sure that you be careful with that word. And I will also mark myself down for once as Marian. Thank you. I also take myself out over here. Okay, I'm not innocent. Lucinda, you used the word of today once, and you used the word 6 times. Marco Jacobs, you used the word once. You also then repeated a word which was where. And I believe that that does come when we are trying to find the next words that we want to say. And I know that I used this example last week, but maybe just use a slight pause in between so that you can gather the words that you want to speak or say later on, instead of having to repeat the same words repeatedly. Movin, you said the word 5 times, and you said twice. But a phrase that you used that I really like, you said there's always highlights and lowlights. We're always speaking about the highlights, but we never really speak about the lowlights. So I really love that phrase that you pulled in there with your evaluation. And then Cindy Jacobs, you used the word of the day once, and you used a phrase that said, you took us on a great quest. And I really loved that, because tonight we are on a quest and we are on a hunt for something. So I really liked how you played with that. You also used the word and in places where you could have used a comma. So please do just watch out for that. And as I promised, I said that I would be a bit lenient today, and I did really try my best. But thank you so much to all our speakers and to everyone here this evening. You all are improving, and I'm really, really loving it. I love it for you. Thank you so much. And back to our egg hunter, Josette Bus.
Thank you so much, Madam Omarian. And the Madam Omarian really hunts for those speech irregularities like a greyhound in the woods, and she sniffs out every single one of them. We were really just prey being hunted this evening. But anyway, we are now going to go into our final report for this evening, which is our general evaluators report. And I'm going to hand over to Luyanda Taylor.
Good evening again. Thank you so much. I haven't been here in a while, so I have a lot to catch up on. I don't understand her being nice today, Jojo. That seemed very intense. So I'm wondering what happened last week. But anyways, regarding my general evaluation, so I really enjoy being part of Ignite Toastmasters, and I miss it when I'm not here. And then I have to go to other boring meetings, which just like, anyways. Some of the things that were great about this meeting is, first of all, you start off with high energy from the beginning. There's a song that plays, everybody has their videos on, you ensure that everybody has the background, and so that everyone is a part of the meeting and nobody feels left out. You of course had the theme of let the hunt begin, and I loved how you carried that through with every single introduction of every speaker. Madam Toastmaster, your name changed a whole lot of times throughout this event, because we were sticking to the theme and we're evolving as each person brought in a new word. And I really loved how that fun was carried throughout the meeting. Also, the program confirmation at the beginning that everybody that was on the program was there and that there were no changes. It's really a great showing of the commitment of the members of the club, that if you say that you're going to do something, you show up and you follow through. And that's really an incredible element. A pointer that I've heard being said in a few meetings and in a few clubs. So we have the Toastmaster, we have the Table Topics Master, and those are really roles of you are mastering the craft. And so saying mistress does not quite sit well because it's not a gender specific role. So please watch out for that. So, and then the other thing, I think, Madam Timer, you had green on for most of the time when people started speaking. So that caused confusion on where it is that people were. So it would be great for you to don't only turn to green when it is at 5 minutes, for instance, or at 1 minute for the table topics and at 2 minutes. So maybe that's why our evaluators took liberties and decided to deliver whole audiobooks during their speeches. So I think just be consistent on that to also help, especially because in the beginning you demonstrated how you are going to time people. Then when we are delivering our roles or our speeches, then we know that this is what we look out for. Overall, I think it was there were brilliant speeches. I really enjoyed the speeches. I commend you on all of the energy and the effort that you took to prepare for the speeches. And it definitely shows through. And I know that's why you're I'm really ragging on these evaluators because they are experienced people, so I can do such things to them. But the fact that they decided to dig deep and really give you feedback that will help you on your journey because you already put in the work. So they felt that they also need to match the work and ensure that we are all successful. Overall, really great meeting. Love the energy, love the commitment, love the enthusiasm, and also just like sticking to that theme. I thought that was brilliant. Back to you, Madam Egg Hunter, Chief Egg Hunter from Headhunter.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator Leander Taylor. Now, before we conclude our meeting, we are now going to go into, you see, our Umarian is still doing her job, even though her assignment has been concluded. But anyway, we're gonna go over to Glissandra Neitzel, who's going to announce the winner of our table topics segment. Over to you, Glissandra.
That would be me, Madam Egbita. It was just too funny. I want to say that our Umarian, we need to get our Umarian to join ESCOM because I think that everything will go right. But thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. You did an amazing job this evening. Can we give her a hand? That was phenomenal. She carried the theme brilliantly. She was strong with all the names that she was given, and I just want to thank her for that. We are going to go into our member moment, and then when our member moment is done, I will come back and I will introduce our table topics winner for this evening. Over to you, Lucinda, as you give us some snippets of what Toastmasters means to you and why Toastmasters is important. Over to you, Lucinda Ferreira.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Thank you so much, everyone. Loving the team tonight. My children are even here because they're seeing Easter eggs and it's an egg hunt, so they also want to join in on the fun. But I'm here to speak about my Toastmasters journey, and I think it has been quite an exciting journey. One of the things that I really, really love about Toastmasters is how it has made me become self-aware. And there's a quote that says, to be self-aware is to self-correct. So on my quest to become better, Toastmasters has allowed me to become self-aware. And one of the things that started right from the beginning is obviously with Pathways, doing that assessment to determine what path you are going to take. You have to answer certain questions and then you choose your path. And my path that I'm taking is the dynamic leadership path. And with that part, it has also allowed me to learn things like my communication style, my leadership style. And that makes me now more aware of how I communicate. And it helps me with communication, not just in Toastmasters, but in my relationships, whether with my husband, at work, if I find myself, I am now aware of the communication style that I use and also the communication style of others, so I can identify how others communicate as well. And then also with regular feedback. So when we come on to Toastmasters, we get feedback on our speeches. And not only do we get feedback, but we also see how feedback is given to others, and we can then learn from that feedback. And that is how it has helped me. Now, I always speak about me being the shy person, this person that did not have confidence. And I really can say that since I joined Toastmasters, it has helped me to improve that. So I'm a little bit more confident now as a speaker because Toastmasters has helped me with that by becoming more aware of my communication styles, my leadership styles, the things that I do incorrectly, I had to improve on, and now I can actually be more confident that when I speak, even in situations like at work, for example. I remember just a few weeks ago, I took on a task at work. I was helping one of my colleagues with something that he had to do. And after that task, we actually had a meeting and we had to explain what our challenges was around that task. And I remember when he came up and he had to talk, he was mumbling and he couldn't really express himself. And when I came on, I could actually explain what the challenges was. And I remember someone saying, you know what, that is the problem with him. He can't express himself. And I think that is really what Toastmasters does. It's not just about us coming and delivering speeches, but it really helps us in all areas of our lives to become better at what we do. And then obviously I also participated in contests. The shy person with no confidence actually went on and I won our club contest, and I won and I actually participated in an area contest. And that is how far I actually went. Someone that does not even like to speak. Everyone that knows that I'm one of those people that speak when spoken to, but I went onto a public platform and I actually spoke table topics, evaluations, and that is what Toastmasters do for you. But you also don't do it alone, because I couldn't have done a contest alone. I had a mentor who assisted me, and that is the benefit of Toastmasters, that you will never walk alone, because you will always have someone that walks alongside you that will help you on this journey of improving yourself, this journey of discovering yourself, this journey of becoming the better you, or the person that you're always supposed to be, because discovering who we are is just becoming who we were created to be. So that is really what Toastmasters has done for me. It has made me self-aware, and it has also given me the opportunity to be mentored by DTM Cindy Jacobs. So we have great people at Ignite, and we have great mentors. And if you want to improve on your public skills, your confidence, your leadership skills, and just be a better version of yourself, join Ignite Toastmasters. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Lucinda, for sharing that. We can indeed say that at Ignite Toastmasters, we've got quite a few people who have participated in the contest, and they have been phenomenal. I said to someone today, actually, that Toastmasters changes you in such a subtle way. When you look at yourself, you won't see it, but other people will come to you and they will say to you that you have changed. You will think that it is little things that we are doing here, and it may seem insignificant. I'm just doing this little thing. I'm just doing an evaluation. I am just watching what is happening. I'm just doing table topics. But table topics is allowing us to speak and have conversation with people from all walks of life. And that is what it does. Moveen Gordon is someone that can also speak about that. Marco Jacobs has been someone that has been in the contests. Maureen, Glissandra, Joanne, Luyanda, so many people here today can attest to the fact that Toastmasters have done such a great thing within their lives. So I really want to say to you, if you doubt joining Toastmasters, don't doubt. because it's something that's going to transform you phenomenally. Having heard Lucinda Ferreira speak, having heard what she has said this evening, I want to show you another example of just what Toastmasters done. We did our table topics and we said we will also announce our best table topics for this evening. And our best table topics this evening goes to Lucinda Ferreira. Once again, a testimony of what Toastmasters has done within our life. Can we give Lucinda Ferreira a hand this evening? Well done. Well done on doing exceptionally well this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to say thank you. I hope to speak eloquently someday, and you will, Kelly, you will. Please join Ignite Toastmasters, and I promise you, you will be transformed forever. Our next meeting, ladies and gentlemen, is on the 18th of April. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. Please prepare yourself to come ready with your camera on. We have a fun time at Ignite Toastmasters, and we would really love to see each and every one of your faces. Invite friends, invite family members. It takes you from a place of, it takes you from, I don't want to say this word, but it takes you from one place of greatness to a greater place. And you will see how you become who you are meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. May you have a beautiful Easter weekend. May you go on your Easter hunt. Look out for Josette Busak, because she is the chief egg beater, and she will look out. Guys, we don't want Josette to do anything to you. Gershon, please be careful with the chief egg beater in your house. But for now, as we sign out, have a beautiful Easter weekend, and may you stay safe until we meet again on the 18th of April as we play out with our famous Ignite song, Ignite the Flame and the Fire. Have a beautiful evening.